Chapter 13 of Farmer Boy. The Strange Dog. A stray dog helps out the Wilder family in an unexpected way. The events. Nick Brown told Dad that the horse buyer was in town. Remember, he told them that over in Saranac they were buying horses for around $200, and the horses weren't as good as Father's. So Father every night carefully groomed his 4-year-old colts because he knew the horse buyer was around and could show up any day. So he wanted to make sure his horses were nice and shiny and clean and look the best that they can for him to be able to sell them to the horse buyer. And Almanzo got to help. Now, this was a big deal for Almanzo. Remember, Almanzo wants to have his own horse to train and to be his very own, but Dad won't let him help around the horses because he's afraid Almanzo is going to spoil them. But he gets to help Dad carefully groom the 4-year-old colts. And Dad knows that the horse buyer is willing to pay up to $200. That's why when he's bartering or trading with the horse buyer, he says he can take nothing less than $225. And that way, he's hoping the horse buyer will give him what he wants, which is actually the $200. And of course, the horse buyer does give Dad the $200 to bind the deal. But it's too late in the day for Dad to hook up the horse and buggy and go all the way to Malone to put the money in the bank. So they have to keep it around the house. And Mom's so worried all evening that they're going to get robbed. Someone's going to come and take the money. She hides it in the pantry. She hides it in Dad's sock drawer. She puts it under her pillow. She's constantly worried. And a strange dog appears on their porch, and they feed him. And while everyone's sleeping, the dog, who was still on the porch that night, growled, looking toward the woodlot around midnight. And we know that because Mom gets out of bed and looks out the window. And come in the morning, Dad found footprints in the woodlot. So they were almost robbed. And the dog was nowhere to be found. So while Dad went to town to put the money in the bank and to get the remaining money from the horse buyer when he brought the horses to him, Dad made an inquiry. So he checked around town to see if anything strange had happened in the area. And come to find out, a farm not too far from Dad's, the same thing happened to that farmer. It was too late in the day for that farmer to go put his money in the bank, so he had it in the house, and then he ended up getting robbed. They tied up the farmer and his family, and they beat the farmer almost to death until he gave up the money to the robbers. So remember, Dad was the only one that knew the money was in the house and one other person. That's right, the horse buyer. Okay, that's the end of this video.